Welcome back. All right, WrestleMania 13. We're now getting into the ones that I really, really enjoyed. We're also getting into the era where matches are getting longer. In some cases, completely justified. In some cases, probably not. Probably could have been cut down by 5 to 10 minutes. But yeah, WrestleMania 8 matches, and we're kind of getting into that formula that they would follow going forward. It starts with Billy Gunn defeating Flash Funk in 7 minutes and 5 seconds. Billy Gunn took a little while to find his footing as a singles wrestler. And I'll say this too, Billy Gunn, I think, could have been a star in his own right, could have been an uppercarter until that feud with The Rock that just destroyed it. But at this point, they're building Billy Gunn up. He went through a lot of different gimmicks too, and then of course they'd always end up throwing him back with Road Dogg. But yeah, Billy Gunn, first match of the night. Just the 7 minutes. We're not to the point yet where it's necessarily a great match that you have on first, but we will get to a point where there are great matches bookending the event, which I think is the best way to go with it. Then we have a tag match. The Headbangers defeated Doug Furnas and Phil LaFawn, the Godwins, and the New Blackjacks. The New Blackjacks, Barry Windham, and JBL, John Bradshaw Layfield. You know what? I thought the New Blackjacks, I thought it was kind of a fun look, and yet it bombed. It flopped. It didn't work. And I didn't mind the Headbangers. Eventually they turned them face, which I didn't think helped. Doug Furnas and Phil LaFawn. I can't tell you a great match they had. They were good wrestlers, but like I never had any kind of emotional reaction to them. The Godwins, their best run was as heels, I thought. Their best run was as heels. Rocky Maivia, the Intercontinental Champion, successfully defended his title against the Sultan, who was not really a Sultan and was actually also Samoan. That's for the Intercontinental title, though, and in 9 minutes and 47 seconds, Rocky kept the title. We're getting into the Die Rocky Die area pretty quickly around this. What happened with Rocky and what people may not understand about why there was that hatred of Rocky was that he was just this glad-handing, happy-go-lucky guy. He had all the tassels, and he was just all like, yeah, look, this is great. And while he had the wrestling moves that we would come to love later when he was The Rock, it felt like he was just handed everything. He was just, here's this Rocky Maivia guy. Oh, look, he's the Intercontinental Champion. It felt like it happened way too fast. That WWF may have realized this guy had everything they were looking for, the talent, the look, and the personality, but then they put him in this goofy gimmick, and they just handed him the Intercontinental title. It didn't work. And a heel turn fixed the whole thing. All of a sudden, he became the coolest guy, and I remember when he did turn heel, suddenly saying to friends of mine at work, that Rocky Maivia, now that he's The Rock, I'm starting to really like the character. I'm starting to think they've got something there. Triple H defeated Goldust, 14 minutes and 29 seconds. China was outside the ring on one side, Marla on the other side. I always felt bad for Terry Runnels in that situation because, China ragdolls her a little bit. But yeah, Triple H winning. Of course, we know Triple H is going to be a world champion. Goldust, not so much. But Goldust, I still thought was a good character. I thought Dustin Rhodes played that character very, very well. And so Triple H wins that match, but almost 15 minutes. That's a decent contest. A little bit of shenanigans there as well, right? Owen Hart and British Bulldog, the World Tag Team Champions, defeated Mankind and Vader by countout. We're getting into the era as well where we're going to have the Hart Foundation as a stable rather than just a tag team of Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart. And of course, Owen Hart and British Bulldog are going to be part of that. That match took 16 minutes and 8 seconds. And Mankind and Vader could have been fun as tag champs coming out of that too. But yeah, it was nice to see Owen and the Bulldog as champions win. And as a general rule during this era, I never booed Owen. I never disliked Owen. I never disliked the Bulldog either, even though at times it felt like they didn't know what to do with Davey Boy Smith. And I never disliked Bret during the entire run either. So what's interesting is this match takes 16 minutes and 8 seconds, and then the main event is the next match. It's not the main event of the card, but it's the match everyone remembers, right? So Bret Hart defeats Steve Austin when guest referee Ken Shamrock stops the match. And I remember the double switch during that match. This match took 22 minutes and 5 seconds. and it was a great story that it told. And what was fantastic about it, of course, was that image. That image on every Stone Cold t-shirt for a while. That image was on every episode of Raw to begin it. And it's of Stone Cold in the sharpshooter, blood running down his face, screaming, not able to get out of it. But he passed out. And on the Raw after that, I remember him saying, I just gave more blood than my heart was pumping. I think something along those lines. But I never gave up. I never tapped out. And you're gonna have to kill me, Bret. And then he puts Bret in an ambulance. And then it turned out he's driving the ambulance, which was my favorite moment on Raw. Was that they load him into an ambulance and it's Stone Cold Steve Austin in the driver's seat, and he just comes back, starts beating on Bret in the back of the ambulance. Absolutely fantastic bit. And I loved Austin during this period. I just did. I remember the one night that Austin was like, until I get what I want, none of these matches are going to go. These every match tonight, I'm wrecking it. And so every match he came in and just beat everybody up. And it was really funny. Now, is that burying the roster? Yes. But it's doing it in such a creative and fun way that I didn't mind it at the time. And it all starts with this match. Bret came out of that match a heel. He went into it as the face. Stone Cold came out of that as a face. And it really made it so that Stone Cold looked like the toughest SOB on the roster. And that was his character going forward. He made those claims going into that match. That match was the one where he kind of proved it. And it shows that if you book a match well, if you do it right, even in a loss, a wrestler can come out looking really, really strong. Sometimes in wrestling now, because they're so scared of protecting themselves and they don't want to look bad and, oh, I don't want to lose by pinfall, they miss this. That sometimes that loss, if it's booked really well, can make you stronger and can make you a better character moving forward. And then you get your revenge. Ahmed Johnson and Legion of Doom were having to follow this. They defeated the Nation of Domination. So we have Farouk, Crush, and Savio Vega. That match took 10 minutes and 46 seconds. Nation of Domination, I think, is an underrated faction, looking back through WWE's history. Once they added The Rock, it really was chef's kiss. Perfect. Ahmed Johnson, not a fantastic wrestler. He had the right look, but not a great wrestler. The Legion of Doom, big guys. And I mean, this was just a match between six guys that were pretty big. And it didn't last that long. But you have to feel bad for them because they're trying to follow Bret Hart versus Steve Austin. I don't even remember this match, to be honest, because I didn't really care. This match, Bret Hart and Steve Austin, was the match of the night. So then you have the main event, which was Undertaker and Psycho Sid. Psycho Sid came in as the world champ. He gives up the WWF title to The Undertaker in 21 minutes and 20 seconds, as now the streak's becoming a thing. And the streak is getting to be more and more talked about with each passing year. The funny part being, I don't think this was intentional on WWF's behalf initially, but once they realized, hey, we've got something here, they went with it. And Undertaker and Psycho Sid had a pretty good match. Sid was never a great wrestler, but he had a good look. He could cut. His promos were okay. At times, he would insult himself by accident. You guys watch Botchmania. But at times, his promos may have kind of meandered and not made as much sense. But they're still better than the Ultimate Warriors. Last night, actually, when I was scrolling around on social media, I came across a promo that was the Ultimate Warrior with Randy Savage. Just, yeah, that was something. The funny part being, my wife said, you know what? That kind of wrestling, I like. They admit it's goofy, and they don't take it too seriously, and they're over the top. She liked that better than some of the stuff that they're doing now. And there's probably something to that you could probably attract in more casual viewers or non-wrestling fans necessarily if you have some hook, something to bring them in. I think this is why Mr. Iguana right now is getting so much attention, but apparently they're going to bring in Psycho Clown as well. But either way, back then that was standard. You had all kinds of goofy, over-the-top characters. WCW kind of changed that when you got into Nash and Hall and everything. And of course, this is where we're getting into that WCW versus WWF storyline, for lack of a better way of putting it, the Monday Night Wars being as they are. But this was a good card. And the funny part is, I thought when WCW was winning the war and they were destroying WWF in the ratings, I thought WWF had a better show. I thought it was a better show. I thought they had a better roster. I thought the wrestling matches were better. It's just WCW had the bigger names. But the wrestling itself was better here. And there will be those who say, hey, AEW has better wrestling right now than WWF. My answer to that would be, I don't know that they necessarily do. There's a lot of moves that are done, but it does feel kind of, it just doesn't feel like it's very well planned out, for lack of a better way of putting things. And at times, WWF has had that problem as well. So yeah, there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. So yeah, for the WrestleManias I've reviewed, WrestleMania 13 would be my favorite of the ones I've talked about so far, because we haven't done 17 yet. Once we get to 17, I know it's cliche, but that's probably still my favorite. That is probably still my favorite WrestleMania. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.